Hello guys, this is Arados12 again with another late night tutorial, and this time we're going to be focusing on how to change the tutorial system or quest system to work with the gamepad. As you can see here, there are things that you want to look at in which help you make the quest system work for gamepad, and that first thing you want to look at is which part of the quest system has the stuff that you need for the tutorial. Now remember, the very important thing to know about this is that tutorials are usually the best thing for this to be used in. So if you want to have a better gamer or user experience or UX with this game, then I would suggest that you look into using this with tutorials because they create a better emotional experience on the console. What I mean by emotional experience, I mean as in what makes your game likable. You you don't get a favorite or a star for no apparent reason. You have to have that players to have an emotional experience with the game that makes them like it. Basically, happiness, not sadness or anything else. Where they'll like dive into the game. Now, let me get started and let's see what happens. So, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to figure out where the steps are. The steps, if I remember straight, are in quest libraries. See that? Now, look at this. This is the tutorial. But here's a serious problem. The serious problem is that it's not really that good for, it's not really good for gamepad. So, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to turn this or convert this into a very special data structure. That's right, a table. And this table is going to include two things. PC equals this function right here. Gamepad equals this right here. It's a function. Basically, all this crap is just nothing but a function. But functions. So this is what you do. Instead of using player.name, you would do, and this is how you would open up the inventory in my games. You would use L3. So basically, this is what happens. You have many different gamepad modes to choose from. Gamepad mode 1 is going to be just regular movement. Okay, it's going to be in starter player scripts. Gamepad mode 2 is going to involve opening up the inventory and dealing with the inventory. So, remember, the two buttons, D-pad up and D-pad down, are going to be very special buttons. Okay? Very special buttons. They cannot be used in any mode number. They're used to increment and decrement the mode numbers, which makes them special. So I'm going to do this. enum.keycode.button L3. Now, L3 is like that. But I'm going to change some things on this. I'm going to show you how you would do it. And we will be testing this when I get my own Xbox One controller. Yes. When I get my own Xbox One controller. And it will say, now it won't say this. And it will definitely never say this, because this is actually part of a keyboard. Okay, the keyboard. Now, let me show you how that works. So, in order for me to get to the featured part, which is never going to happen, I mean, it could, but guess what? Players are going to see the popular part first. I mean, if they play 5 featured games, right, and one of my games could be in the featured list. If we make it for Gamepad, yes. It's going to be called Vader. And it's like Mad Murderer, but it's a Star Wars theme. Anyways, let me get started. So we would do now. Remember this. And then we'll say remember this. And this is going to be a 15-second, which is a quarter of a minute, gamepad step. Well, actually, not even that. It's actually going to be a half a minute step. So for 30 seconds, you're going to see this whole step. They're longer because there are more controls and it's much more complicated than it would be with a keyboard, which has all these keys that I can press, which is how you're able to type things. Now, remember this is going to be a 10, and we're going to say L1, actually R1. In fact, make this actually button R1. enum.keycode.button R1. And then it'll say enum.keycode.button R1. Now remember, when you're doing this kind of tutorial, make sure you always remember this. You have to do it with the same button. Like, do it with a different button first. Like, maybe we could just do button A. Just do it the default for that. But always refer to the buttons in which are going to be used for this step. For example, this one is kind of like a anticipatory icon, which means that the button is going to be showing up more than just that one time. It's going to be showing up again afterward. So it's for like 10 seconds. The reason why is because the other button is being displayed. So it kind of gives you a hint on what's happening. R1 is used to go up. R1 is used to select the next tool. And then for this one, you would actually get to copy this again. But this time, we're going to change the button to L1. Or actually, no, not L1. Actually, yes, L1, please, L1. And I would do L1. And when you do L1, L1 is used to select, let's say L1 is used to select the previous tool. This tool. And then after that, you would do the same thing, except you would go back to the button A, which means that you would do like this. Sorry about that, guys. It's a little tricky, but it's all fine. You know? And this part we will get to later. maybe in the next tutorial I will show you how to do it. So say use the above controls to find and equip the dual lightsaber. Alright, yes, I think this is it for now in terms of this tutorial. I will be back later tonight with a part 2. So stay tuned, and that's all. You can like, comment, subscribe, anything you want to do. It's your life. And cheers.